Guess what? Dillian Whyte is suing the WBC. It's about motherfucking time. That's right, suing them. But that's not exactly what this video was going to be about, as a lot of channels have spoke on this way before I had the opportunity to. So with that being said, before we get into the video, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, go ahead, hit that thumbs down. And if you really like the video, please sub to the channel, because that is what helps me out the most. Also, don't forget, hit that notification bell, because when you hit that bell, you'll be the first to see when I upload new content. With that being said, let's get into this. Before let's get into this, let me just send a shout out to Ring IQ. He's the one that actually broke this story, as far as I know, on YouTube. So that's where I got the information that Dillian Whyte was suing the WBC. And again, like I said, it is about time. Now, what this main focus on this video is going to be about isn't so much the legal situation going on with Dillian Whyte and the WBC, because we don't know much more than he's just suing them. But what I wanted to touch on was, there are some Dillian Whyte naysayers out there that say Dillian Whyte is scared to fight a champion. He's scared to fight for a belt because he turned down Pulev and he turned down Anthony Joshua. Now, there are stories out there when he turned down Anthony Joshua was offering him $1 million. And then in the rematch that Anthony Joshua had in the rematch clause, AJ would get the bigger portion of the pot in the rematch, even if Dillian Whyte beat him. He didn't like that. He felt like that if he beat AJ in the first fight, he should have the bigger stake of the pot in the second fight. So y'all got to excuse that noise. My smoke detector died. The batteries went out, so now it's just reminding me every 10 seconds. But anyways, and he wasn't with that. He felt like he deserved the bigger portion of the pot if he won the fight. Understandable, but he did miss the opportunity to fight for a belt. So a lot of people have been saying he's scared to fight for a belt. He's scared to fight for a belt. He's all this. He's all talk. Now, this is what I want to say. Somebody who is scared to fight for a title is not going to sue a sanctioning body to get their opportunity to fight for a title. That is somebody who has been hungry, thirsty for a very long time, somebody who is fed up so much that they're going to take it to court to have the lawyers sort this out. So I think this move right here by Dillian Whyte proves without a shadow of a doubt what me, supporters of Dillian Whyte, have been telling naysayers the whole time. He wants to fight. Now, my personal opinion, and I haven't talked to Dillian Whyte, never spoke with him, so I don't know his mindset, but me just looking at it from the outside, looking in, when you're looking at finances against AJ, you know, the biggest bargaining chip you can bring to the table is having the WBC belt for Undisputed. If you feel like AJ's lowballing you, how do you go against AJ's lowballs? Well, you get the WBC belt. Now you have that belt. Now he's got to meet your demands to be able to be considered undisputed, which is what I believe AJ has been trying to do all along. It's not AJ's fault Deontay Wilder didn't fight him for undisputed, just like it's not White's fault that he's been waiting for damn near 1,000 days to fight Deontay Wilder, and he didn't do it. And now Tyson Fury's talking about he's not going to do it, possibly vacating, possibly becoming the franchise champion. But it doesn't matter, because even if he becomes the franchise champion, that's not undisputed. It's not a real belt. Fury can't even lose that belt. All Fury can really truly lose is the Ring Magazine belt and lineal status. That's it, if he vacates the belt. As far as undisputed goes, that will be between AJ, if AJ gets through Pulev, and the holder of the WBC belt. Honestly, what I see going on is, I believe Eddie Hearn has 100%, like I said in the past video, all the power. 100% of all of the power, because he has AJ with 3 of the 4 major belts. He has Dillian Whyte, who's in a mandated slot to fight for the WBC belt. So here's the thing. If you're going to talk finances, this came up on another panel I was on. It was on IBT Immortal Boxing channel. So check that out if y'all want to. It's a long, very lengthy live stream. It's like 4 hours long. So give them a view, give them a sub, help them out. But over there, they were talking about finance, and I was thinking to myself, financially for Eddie Hearn, it doesn't really make the most sense to let Tyson Fury fight AJ. It really doesn't, because then not only is Eddie Hearn losing part of the pot to AJ, because he's his promoter, or DAZN, however they break it down. He's also losing a big portion of the money to Top Rank ESPN. Well, how do you circumvent that? It's very easy. You get AJ, who's got 3 of the 4 major belts. He beats his mandatory. Boom. He's secured. Now you have half of Undisputed. Well, as Eddie Hearn, how do you get the other half of Undisputed? You force Tyson Fury to fight Dillian Whyte. If Dillian Whyte beats Tyson Fury, guess what? Matchroom, DAZN, they now host the Undisputed fight. So it's 100% money in-house. Also, what's the other way you do it? Force Tyson Fury to fight for the WBC belt against Dillian Whyte. If he refuses to do it, he has to vacate the belt. Guess what happens when he vacates the belt? Well, the interim champion now becomes the legitimate champion. Now, what the WBC can do is, upon that happening, they can actually say put Deontay Wilder against Dillian Whyte, and they'll fight it out for the belt. Or the belt might just be handed over to Dillian Whyte. Don't know how it's going to go. So, no matter what, Eddie Hearn has the opportunity to either force Fury to vacate the title and get Dillian Whyte to win it in a match for the vacant title, or force Fury to fight Dillian Whyte, and if Dillian Whyte beats him, guess what? Undisputed, Matchroom, DAZN, 100% in-house money, not being split, not being shared. Now, back to Dillian Whyte. I believe, like I said earlier in this, Dillian Whyte has always wanted the WBC belt because that is the bargaining chip to bring up against AJ, and that's been his goal. That's why when people talk about him turning down AJ, doesn't matter, low ball offer. When he turned down Pulev, doesn't matter. That's not for the WBC title. In fact, I believe Dillian Whyte was the mandatory for the WBA, but he never tried to fight AJ because he's been going for the WBC belt, because the WBC belt is his only way to get a big financial gain in a fight against AJ. And that's what he's done. And again, to finish this video, because I'm not going to go on for 30 minutes in this one because this is real short, real simple. I just find it funny how now he's suing them. He's going to get his fight because when it goes to court, I can guarantee you with all the sanctioning fees, and then whenever they bring out that Brazil was ranked lower than Dillian Whyte, Fury wasn't even ranked at all and got a chance at the title. He wasn't. He retired. He came back. He wasn't even ranked. Had 2 tune-up fights against fighters who were over the hill, no competition, and got in front of Dillian Whyte. So I think Dillian Whyte actually has a strong case. If he didn't have a strong case, I don't think it would be going to court. You know, Dillian Whyte's been threatening to take the WBC to court for probably about, at least 8 months to a year now. He's been threatening. And I think at some point the WBC just thought he was blowing hot smoke into the air. And maybe he was at the time. But it is apparent to me that his lawyers have found some type of hole in whatever legal binding documents that the fighters adhere to with the WBC. They have found something that they can exploit, something that the WBC did wrong that goes against their own organizational rules. And that's why they're suing them, because they believe they can win. And the WBC's lost before in court. Lost $40 million. Suleiman's dad was the CEO at the time, and he lost. Now maybe the son's going to lose again. The only way I can see this not going to court, being that it's looking like it's going to court, but they could always settle out of court and give Dillian Whyte his due mandatory shot. And maybe, just maybe, they might force Tyson Fury to fight Dillian Whyte before Wilder, because they're going to be too scared that they're going to get the living shit sued out of them. Because you got to understand, with sanctioning bodies, you pay them money to have a sanctioned fight. You are paying them money. So you got to add up all them thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands that Dillian Whyte's been paying them this entire time to earn his shot to not get the shot. I'm telling y'all, if he wins the court case, the WBC is going to lose a whole lot of money, And I don't believe that they're financially in a situation where they can take a $40 million loss. That right there might bankrupt the whole sanctioning body. That right there might put them out. And then somebody can come in and take over, buy it from them. Because I believe they've had financial issues in the not so near past. So, or distant past, I should say. But yeah, so I would not be surprised if Wilder is injured and that fight between him and Fury for the third one, the trilogy, the rematch of the rematch, I would not be surprised if Dillian Whyte gets pushed in between it and Fury has to fight Whyte first before he gets that rematch that's already agreed to and signed for with Deontay Wilder. I would not be surprised. But I can tell you, listening to what Eddie Hearn said, the deal that he made with Tyson Fury was a 2-fight financial agreement. The dates weren't signed for. The venue wasn't signed for. The only thing they agreed upon was the finances. In an interview, Eddie Hearn also stated out of his mouth that Tyson Fury would have to fight Dillian Whyte first before he got Anthony Joshua, because I think Eddie Hearn is smart enough to know that he now controls the entire board. Like I said before, if you're thinking about it as a game of chess, he's got Tyson Fury or the WBC, because it could have been Deontay Wilder, in checkmate now. Mandatory, WBC, other 3 belts, AJ. There's nowhere for them to go. They're railroaded, because if Eddie Hearn doesn't make the undisputed with AJ, then it doesn't happen. He can stop it until Dillian Whyte gets his shot. And that's what I think is going to end up happening. And I think that's why they're going to court. And I can't tell you 100% for sure who's going to win. But what I can tell you is it's looking like Dillian Whyte's going to get his shot. And then undisputed will happen after that. And I believe that's how it should be. I believe what's right is right, what's just is just. I know boxing fans just want to see undisputed, but at the same time, I personally don't like seeing people get fucked over, especially when you got a guy like Dillian Whyte who's actually fought more top 10 fighters than Tyson Fury. Both of them have beat, Fury has beat 2 current reigning champions. Dillian Whyte has beat I don't know how you would consider Lucas Brown. He was a champion, but he got stripped due to, I believe it was some type of PEDs pretty much. He was doing PEDs, got stripped, fought Dillian Whyte after he got reinstated and lost, but he was a world champion. So he beat a world champion in Lucas Brown, and he also beat Joseph Parker, who was a former world champion. So they both beat world champions, both of them. So they have 2 world champions underneath their belts, but with Dillian Whyte, he has more top 10 wins. So with that being said, I think it's going to be mandated that they fight sooner than later. And again, depending on how injured Deontay Wilder's bicep is, I would not be surprised. I would not be shocked if, because of this court case now, Dillian Whyte actually fights Tyson Fury before Deontay Wilder gets that 3rd match. That's how I see it. And if it does go down like that, let me end with this. This is what I would want to see in a perfect world. If it does end like that, if Dillian Whyte beats Fury, right, then Fury and Wilder have to have their 3rd rematch, okay? Then Dillian Whyte fights AJ for 2 fights. The winner out of those 2 fights, I believe, should have to fight the winner out of the 3rd Fury-Wilder matchup. And if Wilder wins that 3rd one, then everybody gets to see everybody fight. That's how I see it. That's the way I would like it to play out. But let me end the video now before I keep rambling on. But in conclusion, without a doubt, there is no arguments to be had anymore. Dillian Whyte was never scared of Deontay Wilder. He was never scared to get a title shot. It's just the only title shot he wanted was that WBC belt. And that is proven by him taking the WBC to court and suing them for whatever he's suing them for. Thank y'all again for watching. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up or hit the thumbs down, sub to the channel, and hit that bell if you do. Thank you again.